Hello guys, welcome to another video. We are going to look at Nasdaq. Remember, if you're new on this channel, basically this is where I just do an analysis of different charts and then I give my prediction, or I give you the analysis as to like what I think is most likely to happen. As you remember, we looked at this one and the prediction was that the price was going to drop from around where it was and it has a chance to drop to the downside. So you must make sure that you stick with me until the end so that I can, make another prediction as to like from where we are currently, where are we most likely to go? Are we most likely to go up or to go to the downside? So that's what I'm going to predict towards the end of the video. And also I will tell you the reasons why this support here was bound to fail. So make sure that you stick until the end. All right, let's get started. So remember, we looked at this one not so long ago, so I'm not going to waste time. I'll just remind you of the things that we have on the bigger time frames. So let's delete this. So remember, on the bigger time frame, we said that for as long as the price does not break this trend line or it does not go higher than this resistance on a monthly, we will remain bearish. But now we need to remember that this is the support that we are trying to get to, but it's going to be very difficult simply because the month is ending, or today's the last day. And if this becomes an engulfing to the upside, then it might end up fueling or causing the price to continue in that direction. And this is our weekly chart. And when we made the prediction that we're most likely to have a pullback, as you can see, the week has just started, but we already had this as a pullback. The reason why we were predicting such is because we know that this is bearish and we are back at the resistance. So we had touched the resistance, and when we go to the smaller time frames like our H4, that's when we found that the price had broken the bullish trend line that side, which is why we were predicting that might end up continuing until the price hits the next opposing structure. Remember, if I'm trading on H4 and I'm taking a sell, it means I'll be targeting support and a bullish trend line. That's where I'm going to place my exit point. You can't just enter a trade but you don't know where you're gonna exit, guys. You can't do that. So that's why we're saying here we just need to remember that we are around the resistance and we have a bearish trend line, but the resistance also might be taken out. Also, it's not so strong simply because it's not fresh anymore. And remember, again, we failed to make a lower low, so that's another sign that shows that the bears are weaker, so we can maybe break them, but we don't predict such. We will see what happens, then we will react accordingly. So this is our daily chart, and on the daily chart you have a bullish trend line. You are bullish and the price came to this area of support, but it's not a very good one if you are someone that's trading on daily. But it also hit the trend line. That's why now it is reacting and going back. So you need to understand all these sensitive areas. But now you need to be worried. You need to be worried. You can't just say, yo, the price is turning from a bullish trend line and it's going up. But the way it came back, the way it gave that pullback towards the trend line, it's what you should be worried about. Because now the price did this, which is what we call bearish engulfing. So that can end up exerting more force or pressure to push the price to the downside and end up breaking it and coming to at least that. So you need to always keep in mind that this here, don't feel safe. If you're holding a buy trade, do not feel safe. Yes, it can go up, but until that bearish engulfing has been reversed by going above it, it's not something that I will just relax on. So let's check what we have on H4. H4, remember, this is where I said I was going to give you the reasons why something like this was bound to fail, or you had higher chances of failing. Basically, remember, I'll try and go through this as slowly as possible so that it's easier for you to understand, né? So when the price, remember when it was still up there, when we were making our prediction, we were targeting this. You said this is most likely to sell towards that, and it did get there. And you can see the bulls tried to react from this, but they didn't maintain that. It was not sustainable. Why? Because we are on H4 and the H4 buyers are trying to push up, but the weekly sellers are pushing down. And you know that usually the bigger time frame tends to win against the smaller time frame, right? So which is what we got in this case. So that's why when you're holding a buy trade and you see the price, coming back from a higher time frame opposing structure, the price is most likely to break that. So that's why you need to make sure that when those guys are hit, you need to go out, and for you to go in again, it needs to be with confirmation, because otherwise you're just there shooting in the dark. You can see the sellers on the weekly time frame are pushing down. You are trying to go against that on a smaller time frame, so you don't stand a chance. So now what happened was that the price took out that, but it failed to take out the bullish trend line. It went exactly to the bullish trend line and then it turned. So which is why you need to understand that when we're going up, for the price to go down, it needs to defeat the bulls. So here you just took out their support, but you are failing to take out their bullish trend line. So you can see that we cannot say we are fully to the downside, but at the same time we can't say the bulls are comfortable. Why? Because their zone has been removed. And it was removed by what? By this guy, because it was after we formed this guy that we pushed down and actually went lower than that resistance, that support. So this resistance is actually the one that did all of that. It's actually the one that did all of that. But now you need to remember that it looks like the prices just went above it. Let me show you. So you can see that we definitely went lower above that, but we are failing to at least maintain that and just stay there. We can see it's coming back. So if it closes as a bearish rejection candlestick, what you can do is that if you're getting confirmation here, for as long as the price, yes, it looks like it's taking out the resistance, but it's not so convincing because now it's failing to stay there, right? So if it was to come back and close as a bearish pin bar around that level, remember, now because that resistance has been removed, you need to ask yourself a question. Who removed that resistance? It was removed by the move that started from here. So this guy is your nearest support now because of what it did. And you can see that after forming that support, what the price did was that it went up. And when it went up, it actually, what did it do? It actually formed bullish engulfing. So this support here, it actually gave us a bullish engulfing. So you can see that the bulls now have taken out that. So if they were to go to the downside, that's what I'm saying. If you were to get a confirmation around there, the price, yes, did break the resistance. But if it fails to maintain that, if it fails to go up, but rather it gives you confirmation to go to the downside, you need to remember this is a zone. And you will also be coming what? Back to the trend line if you do that. So that's why you can now enter that, and keep in mind that the nearest one is no longer this one, is the one above. So you'll be taking that, targeting that zone up there, right? So that you'll only do it if the price fails to break or fails to continue with this movement to at least there. Then if it fails to go there, it means it will go back, and then you know that this is a strong zone because of what I just showed you, the reasons I just given you now. And then you can look for buying opportunities there and hope that it will go to at least there, right? But we will always say that if we don't create a new high, then the bulls are not back to being fully in control, right? So that's what you can expect from this one. So let's check our H1 and see how it looks like. Because on the H1, you can say this is your nearest support, but it's not so strong. It's not so strong, guys. And it has already been hit. So if you wanted to take it there, I wouldn't have advised you to take it at that time, because remember, we hadn't went higher than this when the price came here and tested it. So because of that, this was still your next opposing structure, even there on your H4. So it was not a good idea. So I would suggest that, remember that H4 one here is the one that I said, if it goes back there, you can take it. And even in this case, because we were bearish and we had a bearish trend line here on H1, we had a bearish trend line, and all of that changed when the price formed this support. Then it went up, breaking the resistance, breaking the bearish trend line. So that's why you can say this is a good area for you to look for buying opportunities. So the same thing that I showed you on H4, remember this will be inside the bigger H4. Let me mark it for you so that we can go back to H4 and just look at how it looks from that side. So this is our, okay, no, I wanted to stay somewhere there. So this is our H1 support, ne? So let's go back to H4. Then you can see that this H1 support is actually inside the bigger H4 support. So that's what I'm saying. Should the price show signs of weakness there, because yes, we understand it removed the resistance, opening more space to say that the next one is up there. But should it fail to continue and have like signs of reversal, then you can take your chances there and hope that it will push the price there. But when you get to this one, this is where also you need to expect something like that. But it will all depend on what we're getting around that current area. But like I said, it looks like we're removing it. But if we remove it, but we still fail to go there, it is like you just overshot it, we can still react and go back. So you need to just keep this on your chart and hope that should the price come back to it, you are not going to miss it. So here, if you wanted to take that sell and accompany the price to the downside, you can put a bullish trend line there and say I'm trading H1 M15 and this is the support. So if you want to buy from this support because you remove the resistance, you've got more space to go up, you can do that. But now I'll be worried if I enter that buy and then the H4 closes as a bearish rejection candlestick, because now it will work against me. So it means that if I wanted to take a sell from M5, M15, I'll wait for the price to do this. Then I'll say M15 is also bearish. Then I can take it after that to the downside. All right, guys, so that's all that you can expect from this one. So you need to listen when I am saying these things, because I always tell you that we are most likely to do this, and then if you follow that, you can make money, or you can just, the most important thing is not about making money. It's about you understanding these concepts better, you gaining confidence and saying that, okay, based on what he taught us, I think, or based on what he's saying in the videos, I'm now confident in saying I can tackle any chart, I can open a chart, I can come up with a trading signal. That is what is most important. So everything else, we don't worry about that. So for now, you just need to focus on improving your skill. So monitor this one, and then if you're interested in learning more of this concept, like in full depth, you can just contact me on the number that I showed you at the beginning of the video on Telegram, and then we will take it from there. But otherwise, I'll keep on bringing more videos on this channel. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.